YouTube is such a great resource. You can look up anything and pretty much you'll find uh, solutions there. Not surprisingly, a lot of beginning photographers go to YouTube and search for solutions. The problem is before you can successfully use some of these tutorials, a lot of beginners don't have the requisite fundamentals or the basics about exposure and how the controls work. All they know is the basics, like how to turn on the camera, change the aperture, change the shutter speed, but they don't have a good understanding of why or how. And that's the part that those photo gurus on YouTube sometimes fail to explain. For instance, if you're gonna do a portrait in this type of a setting in my classroom, okay, this light here that I've set up, it simulates high noon lighting, right? High noon lighting is not the best lighting for landscape photography, and it is not the best lighting for portraiture. Simply because if you look right now, I have raccoon eyes, right? That's why. So at high noon, we have a lot of distractions too. Look behind me. The classroom is, you can see everything in the classroom. It's great for catching students doing stuff and so on and so forth. It's great for if you lose something, right? It's great for if you lose something and that sort of thing. But it's not great for photography purposes, okay? So what you might see is on the photo guru on YouTube will say, okay, to do a portrait in this situation, you need a lens that is fast. So most kit lenses are 5.6 at its aperture, widest aperture, maybe 2.8. So they said, the photo guru tells you, okay, you need a lens that is at least 1.8 or 1.2. So that means, that translates to more money, right? And guess what? The photo guru tells you there's a link on the bottom in the comments if you want to buy this lens from my affiliate links on Amazon, right there. Okay, so all right, let's play along. So get that lens, take this picture. Okay, use 1.2 to take this picture. Blur out the background. You get nice bokeh. Yes, nice bokeh, so that everything is out of focus in the background, right? So okay, but what it doesn't address is the raccoon eyes. You still have this issue, right? So rather than tell you sometimes to use a reflector to fill, they'll tell you, okay, now you need a special flash that's capable of syncing at high shutter speed, right? So let's say you're shooting at f2, outdoors at noon, it's ISO 100. Let's say it's going to be like 8,000th of a second, f2. So you have a flash that is probably in the, I'm going to guess at least $1,000. At least $1,000 if it's a speed light, okay? And it's capable of syncing at 8,000th of a second, right? So, but that flash has to be really close. It has to be really close. Why? Because guess what? That orange ball up above us, even though it's 98 million miles away, it is still super, super bright. You can't overpower the sun with just 4 AA's. That's why. So what do you need? Pay more money, buy a more expensive, more powerful flash. See, there's no end to it. So why not let's just step back and think about it using some knowledge and reasoning, understanding. How about this? So if you ever caught in this type of situation and you have to shoot a portrait, take the person out from this harsh light like this, put them under an overhang, whether it's a tree or some sort of a overhang, and then you won't have raccoon eyes now, but you still have the problem of that bright background behind you. So that's not a suitable background if you're going to shoot this picture from camera position right now. It's not great. So all you have to do then is probably shoot down on your subject, right? Because if you shoot down on the subject, what is the background? The background is the ground. And the background, because it's still under the overhang, it's going to be nice and of the same exposure as your subject, right? So that's one option. Just be careful if you're doing it under a tree, because if it's under a tree, this light that's filtering through the tree will be of a color temperature that is going to be tinted with green because of the leaves. So just be careful of that and be aware of that. Okay? So now that you know that, next time you go on YouTube, right? Look through the content of the photo guru. Okay? If they provide you good alternate solutions that are cheaper or free, those are the ones you want to follow. You don't want to follow the ones that just say buy this to get this, buy this to get this. Those are photographers who are making their living through affiliate marketing. That's why they have a link in the description here and says click on that link to buy that, because they get a cut of the action when someone buys that. So last bit of advice, I guess, is this: there's no such thing as a free lunch, and especially on YouTube. YouTube makes money by serving viewerships. The more eyeballs on a video, the more they make. And so the photo guru also makes a cut of that. So it's no surprise then, you know, that your information or the stuff that you're looking through online, they're tracking you, right? That's why, hey, have you ever noticed how ads follow you from one website to another?